Welcome back to Big Gold Belt Media. I am Damian G with another review here for you on the channel. This time, as you can see behind me, the comedy special by one Jenny Slate, seasoned professional, scheduled to be released on Prime on February 23rd. It is part of her comedy tour. And if you have watched me do comedy reviews here on the channel, you know I'm pretty much a stickler for what makes me laugh and what doesn't make me laugh. Now, if you're familiar with Jenny Slate, you've seen her probably in places like Parks and Rec. She's very good at facial comedy. She's very good at doing the spaz comedy, very akin to the old days of, let's say, Jim Carrey. Is someone I can make a comparison to that I remember right off the top of my head. And this was about an hour and a half of her stand-up, and she chronicles the following in her stand-up. Her pregnancy. She just gave birth to a baby, or not too long ago after this was filmed, or before this was filmed, I should say. Meeting her husband, getting pregnant during the pandemic, as well as finding a therapist that works for her and unearthing her traumas. Now, I'm one person who knows how to make fun of his own traumas, so I was looking forward to that part of the show where she's very self-deprecating. Unfortunately, there's parts where she's too self-deprecating to a part in the show where she talks about self-defecation. I'll leave that line with you right there. So I'll say this. Are her facials on point with what she normally does? Yes. Does she do the spaz, over-the-top, neurotic, neuroses? Plenty of times. Yes. Is the overall jokes funny? Are they funny? No. To me, no. I did not find myself laughing at a lot of her scripted material. If you like the spastic humor, I think this would benefit you. I think this is something people who like spazzy humor would love. I am not one of those people. I think the best parts that I actually laughed when it came to this special was when she had to kind of wing it. There were a couple of moments where she had to do improv because something went awry during the show. I'm not going to tell you what they were if you plan on watching it. Spoilers now for those who may be interested or not. There were some malfunctions with equipment and she had to think on her feet. And those were the moments I thought she was most funny, when those handful of times where they had the spazzing moments of life. And in the moment she laughed and makes a joke about it, and it wasn't over-the-top self-deprecation. Those moments were funny. The rest of it, not so much. She talked about her pregnancy breasts. Okay, funny, I guess. Talking about your boobs when you've never had boobs, and now you have pregnancy boobs. You think that's funny. Talking about getting knocked up during the pandemic, early on in the pandemic, after you've been married to your husband for pretty quickly, according to her. And they took a cross-country drive from California all the way over to, I believe it was Massachusetts, to see her family. And there was parts of her family I did not need her to talk about. And now I would think her parents live in a nudist colony based on what she described her parents as. Some of that was kind of funny. There was a little bit of shenanigans happening with a microphone during the course of this set. Then there was the moments where she was talking about her therapist, trying to find a therapist, connection issues. Now, someone who understands about being a therapist, because I've been one, wasn't funny. It wasn't funny how she undercut the pain it is to go looking for a therapist and finding a therapist you like, to the point where you totally immerse yourself in that therapist's life. And then when they contact you outside of work or inside of their work, it throws you for a loop and it opens up other traumas. So it might have been funny to the studio audience, to the people in the theater. It was not funny for me. So I will say this. Was it better than the Kevin James special I covered here on the channel? Yes, but not by much. I gave the Kevin James I believe it was a F. Jenny Slate, you get a D. I'll give you a D+ because there were moments that made me chuckle. Your comedy, like I said, your comedy facials are great. Just bring it down for me. Like it was a little too much over the top for me, and I'm not a big fan of over the top humor. But maybe you'll like it. Again, this is going to be debuting on Prime February 23rd. Jenny Slate, seasoned professional. You may like it. I give it a D+. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on watching this, and if you have watched it, did you think it was funny? And am I wrong for thinking so? Again, like, subscribe, follow here at Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbeltmedia.com for your one-stop shop for all things entertainment, nerd culture, or otherwise. And I'll catch you next time on the channel.